What's up, everybody? We're back. I'm George Mossey. I'm here with my co-host Heather C. You, me, and your ex aired last night. The infamous RV trip finally took place, and we got a little inside information. So apparently, Lisa avoided Wendy's wedding because she didn't want to be in the same country when Jimmy and Wendy took their vows. So she and Jack were actually in Paris, and she said that the time difference made it better because she had no idea when they were actually going to become husband and wife. And Wendy said that she didn't know what the situation was, but she was invited to the wedding and she didn't come, and she kind of felt that Lisa hated her. But we actually learned as well that there was a letter that Jimmy wrote to Lisa saying that he could never get over her, and then subsequently he married Wendy, and that's kind of where all this crazy intertwined stuff happened. So she felt that Wendy came and took a relationship that could have been rekindled away from her.
I mean, I'm not mad at any of them. I understand like everybody's sides and situations. First of all, Lisa had a really strong relationship, enough to have a child. And I think that since they parted ways, they didn't get a chance to heal. Mm-hmm. So I know for myself that if I was still had any type of feelings or didn't have that closure with my ex, but I was still cool with them, and they were like, hey, you know, I'd like to invite you to my wedding. I'm going to be the bigger person. I'd like to invite you. I wouldn't go either. And that's no disrespect on anybody, but that's a lot of feelings. Like, how are you going to sit there in the audience and watch the person that you had a child with, that you had all these feelings for, marry someone else? Even deep down inside, even if, you know, you're over the situation, it's still going to burn. So I don't fault her for not going. I don't think that it was ultimately any disrespect to Wendy.
I don't either.
I mean, I'm glad that she was able to finally be able to tell her, even if it was several years later.
And also, we don't know exactly, because there was a altercation in a prior episode where they were going to tell their son Dominic exactly why they broke up. So technically, no one knows but them the actual
it's all
situation.
Starting to unfold.
It's unraveling, and we're kind of getting an inside look of why their marriage.
We still haven't met the son yet.
Yeah, we haven't met Dominic yet. They are in Florida. Also, let's talk about the campsite flirting, since we're talking about that. So Jimmy and Lisa, their flirting is kind of out of control, right? I feel like they're so close. You can tell that they were high school sweethearts, and they grew up together, and they're so easygoing. You can see their friendship more than anything. They're so much alike. But to the outside looking in, to Wendy and Jack, this looks a little out of the norm.
Out of pocket.
Yes, it's a little out of pocket, and it's kind of bringing out some insecurities and jealousy in Wendy and Jack. And I actually agree 100%. If I saw my wife or my husband reaching and touching, and the touchy-feely, I think, is what really gets to me. Flirting is one thing, because I've seen like waiters will flirt with your wife or your girlfriend. That's one thing. Touchy-feely is what gets me. That really stirs up something.
They have an interesting relationship, though. Like I said, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. I agree with all parties because I'm Italian. I am crazy. I know, like, I feel Wendy to the T. If my man was touching all over somebody, especially somebody that has a history with, we're going to catch hands. So she was definitely the bigger person to, you know, keep it classy and say, okay, you got one more time.
Yeah.
And then I understand from Lisa's point of view, because, you know, she might be like, okay, we have a great relationship together. You know, I've known her for years. That's just, you know, my friend now. So to her, it's innocent. You know, it's playful. So I don't know.
It's a tough situation.
What happens on the RV stays on the RV.
Like Wendy said, they're intertwined forever because she loves their son, they love their son. They're always going to be together. So this is going to be a hard thing to maneuver through with the flirting.
So let's see what happens if we finally get to meet your son.
Yeah, well, we want to meet him, so we want to see how the party went. So let's talk about this, Alex and Caroline. So Alex takes Caroline to meet his family, his dad and his sisters. And Tiffany was a sister that Caroline had not met yet. So that actually went well. The situation kind of took a turn. First of all, let's talk about Alex arriving in his yellow Kill Bill outfit like he was ready for battle. Like he knew that this was going to be a fight. He arrived ready for his battle.
Uma Thurman, all of them. That's all I'm saying.
That was insane. And Tiffany likes Caroline, and then the discussion kind of goes into exes. So Caroline says that she doesn't really talk to her ex anymore, and then this was sparked by a phone call from Steven, obviously, who calls in the middle of the dinner, and they're like, well, what do you think about Steven and Alex talking all the time? And she's on the fence, as anyone would be. You're on the fence. You don't want to say you don't want them to talk, but you also don't want to say you do. And then Caroline reveals that she doesn't talk to her ex, and then he's also dating guys now, which brought on another uncomfortable conversation of labels. This is where it went out of pocket.
This is very triggering to Alex, you can tell, because it seems like he is always trying to just prove himself to the people that he loves, the people he cares about, and all he's looking at is like, I'm young, I want to have fun, this is who I want to be with, I don't need to, prove myself to you, I don't need to wear it like across my forehead, and yesterday we got to see Caroline's humor, even though it probably wasn't supposed to be humorous, but her look on her face during that dinner was priceless. And when she said that she went home crying to Taylor Swift, that was so relatable. But I mean, obviously for the situation, he left her.
Yes, he left her at his dad's house, literally drove away.
Come on.
I agree, he said come on, but she said in her defense, whenever he gets like this, he either doesn't really leave or he comes right back.
Not today.
That was not the situation, and she literally had to catch a ride home alone, listening to Taylor Swift, maybe Shake It Off, I'm not sure which song, but I felt so bad for her because she was literally left in the lion's den, and she had no idea what to do or what to say. And next week we're gonna meet Caroline's mom, and from the previews, it's gonna go just as we expected, just the way this went. But I just want to say to Alex, I think that you explaining yourself and having to pick a label is unacceptable. You are you, exactly who you are. You're perfect the way you are. You don't need to be in a box. Like you said, boxes are not for people. So be who you are. Caroline loves you for who you are. We all love you for who you are. I
love you guys together. You can tell that you get along perfectly because you're both humorous. And I love that. Laughter is the best medicine, and laughter is the best thing that could keep you together. So, you know what? I love it. So just lay off of him and stop trying to put labels on people.
Let Alex be Alex, and hopefully we get to see you guys get married this season, because I know you haven't popped the question, but we know that you're planning to, so we're looking for that as well. All right, guys, that's it for part 2. I'm so glad you joined us. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Heather C. We are going to be live tweeting the show every Sunday night. Make sure you follow us. I'll put our Twitters at the bottom. Thanks for